President of the Fiji Australia Business Council, Lisa Apted, Australian Deputy High Commissioner to Fiji, Anna Doni, Country Head of Fiji and Head of Commercial Pacific New Zealand, my good friend, Mr. Saud Minan. See, I can say a good friend. I've left Consumer Council. Members of Business Council, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Bula Vinaka, and a very good evening to you all. When I was invited to this function, I thought it was speed dating. So that's why I wore white and, but unfortunately, it's not speed dating, but speed networking. And it's such a pleasure to be here, because for me, it's a first experience to be part of this great idea of speed networking. I must admit, I saw some people not shifting, not moving. But anyway, please enjoy your meal. So ladies and gentlemen, when we talk about Fiji and Australia, the bilateral trade we have spoken about, and you know what the statistics is, but our relationship has strengthened over a period of time. And we can see that in our statistics. We can see that through the Vuvale partnership that we have signed. You can also see that through some of the difficult issues that we managed to solve. One was, of course, kava, and hopefully we'll get there. We're working extremely hard to ensure that kava is one of our key commodity, international commodity, we'll be able to export at a commercial basis to Australia. So we look forward to that. Tonight's occasion actually reflects the close economic relationship between Fiji and Australia, a relationship that is dedicated to business communities of both the countries. Over the years, Fiji Australia Business Council has facilitated business introductions for businesses in Fiji and Australia. I understand there is about, or rather more than 120 companies as members. So this forum has become the perfect space for any business engagement in bilateral trade, particularly for those who need support and guidance. As you know, the main key role of the government is to provide a conducive environment for businesses to grow, for businesses to thrive. And we know the importance of private sector. They are the engine for growth and they are the job creators, and we appreciate that. Tonight, I will provide the highlights of the progress we have made and the impact of those reforms. Ladies and gentlemen, my ministry is mandated to implement reforms in the area of doing business. You may have heard, and I did speak about this, the ease of doing business ranking. Unfortunately, Fiji has dropped by 1 from 101 to 102. We are told that the World Bank normally concludes all the good work that we do in the country, they wrap it up by April and May. And I can say to you that after May last year, there were a lot of things that we have done, which were not included in this ranking. So we're crossing our finger and hoping that the next announcement that will come out in 2021, our ranking should improve. I can say on my fingertips the 5 good things we have done recently. One is, of course, the company registration, the tax registration coming online, then the BIS Fiji portal. We have done the business license reform very recently, and personal properties registration. So these were 5 things that we have done. I want to talk today about the business reform. This is something new which was rolled out in the month of January 2020. And while we were doing this speed networking, unfortunately, nobody came and said, Minister, you know, this business reform was a great idea, and you know how smooth it was to get a business license. I'd like to hear more about that. Because no one said anything, I'm going to take it that it did do some justice, and you don't want to talk about it because it was so good. Do I take it that way? Okay. So regarding ease of doing business, we have set a target. Our target is that in the next 5 years, our ranking should be 50. Now that's an ambitious target. So what we have done, we are working with World Bank Group as well as Singapore Corporation Enterprise, and we are working with the permanent secretaries and heads of organization. There are task force set up to look after each and every area. So we just hope that we should be able to achieve that target come next 5 years. We should be able to roll that out. But talking about business license reform, as a new minister, I did say to everybody that that's one area where I'm going to get some changes going. And I'm glad that we were able to roll that out. I used to hear from the business community how frustrated they were when it came to applying for a business license. They had to meet 8 requirements every year. It's like a religious festival or activity where you had to get 8 different documentation. Then you have to go to municipal council, and of course municipal councils will say, hang on, we've got your information, but we're not going to issue a business license straight away because you need to get other things. And that would mean further discussion and further talk to other organizations such as National Fire Authority. OHS requirements had to be made. But to me, it was always boggling my mind. Why do you need to do that every year when nothing has changed? Your premises have remained same, your business has remained same, number of employees have remained same. Then what was this ritual all about? So to get rid of that, we have reduced the requirement to only 2, which is your company registration and your tax registration. And within 48 hours, the business license must be given out. And we have taken a risk-based approach. We shifted the risk to the businesses. You got to be held responsible. We do not wish to see municipal councils, being the custodian of all the laws. So they were using the business license as a trump card, holding on to it, unless and until you went around fulfilling all the requirements of other agencies. So we are saying, stop, don't do that, none of your business. The legislation doesn't say that the municipal council should be the one stop where all legislation must be complied before they give out business license. So we have actually made a major change, and that also means within 48 hours you can get your business license, but at the same time the cost of doing business also comes down because you don't have to pay National Fire Authority, you don't have to pay OHS and other things that you had to pay previously. When I was looking at these 8 requirements, one thing that really I was just shaking my head was when they say that you need to get a completion certificate of the building you are occupying. Really, who should have this information? It should be with municipal councils because they are the ones who issue completion certificates. So why are they asking you to come with that information? So I can say now most businesses can actually renew their business license for 3 years, so you don't have to get your business license every year. So again, you'll be saving a lot of time and energy. And what we have done, we have categorized the businesses into high risk and low risk. Low risk businesses can commence immediately without any restriction. So you just go in, identify a place, you get your business license, get on with your business, and within 6 months, you meet all the requirements. But if it's a high risk business, for example, food, or if it's to do with, say, chemical handling, or liquor, because we know that it can be a bit of a public nuisance, So in these areas, you've got to meet the requirement first before you can commence the business. In other words, you'll be given a license, but you need to meet those requirements. So these were some of the changes that we brought about. For micro businesses who always complained that why do we have to pay the same amount of money as compared to the big businesses. So we've tried to come up with some concessions for them. For micro businesses, particularly for the startups, if they employ up to 1 to 3, then for the first year they don't pay any money for the business license. So there's no business licensing fee. But for the renewals, they are given 50%. Right? We have also introduced home-based businesses. We recognize them because we knew there were a number of people staying home and doing online businesses, selling things online, but they were not captured anywhere. So we have opened it up with a number of conditions. So these were some of the changes that we came about with the business licensing. Coming down to the what's happening around us, I just want to talk about coronavirus. I know globally, when you turn on BBC News or CNN, or when you pick up newspapers, or even if you go on social media, you get all kinds of information. Often when Fiji used to market itself, we used to say that, we are tucked away in the Pacific. Yes, we are tucked away in the Pacific, but we are not really so far away from the whole trade ecosystem that we will not be affected. So I personally feel that looking at the supply chain plus our trade with the rest of the world and how things are unfolding in different countries, our economy will be affected, businesses will be affected, but how can we prepare better? And in this regard, this week on Thursday, I am meeting the industry reps and associations. We're going to have a one-to-one discussion. I'd like to hear their plans, and also I'd like to hear what government can do for them so that we can put in a proposal if seriously our economy is affected. How can we keep the businesses afloat? So this is something that we will be doing whole of this week, just talking to different industry groups. So that's all I have to share with you all tonight. Thank you for listening. Enjoy the evening, and I hope through your discussions you'll come up with some brilliant ideas that you want to share with me at the end of the networking session. Vinaka.